All right, our next presentation tonight goes to Gary McKamie, who is celebrating 40 years. And we're having a little argument up here of who's going to tell who what to do. I think I supersede him, and I'm telling him to go down Red Point. All of us council people agree, don't we?
Yes.
Okay. All right, in the meantime, I'll call on our Deputy City Manager, Loretta Gatso, who is going to introduce Gary to everyone who is here. If he has any family, would you please come forward? And all of his family come forward. I think they all, but at least one better come up here. Okay.
Mayor, I think I'm going to be in trouble for this, but it needs to be done. This is a monumentous occasion. The city of Euless has never had a 40-year pin given away, so this is a very special event. Let me first start by letting Gary introduce. I'm sure most everybody here knows his lovely wife, but I'm going to start by letting him introduce his wife.
This is Paula, and my plan tonight was to introduce myself. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. You ought to be able to introduce yourself. If you happen to have seen the council communication tonight, I've rewritten my own biography because it said what I really want to say. And good night, there is but y'all got to do what you got to do, I guess. Every time we give an employee pin, we honor the employee for all that they've done. And my comments today is the city of Euless has just could not have been better for me, for my family, the employees, the friends that we've made. Somebody said something a while ago. Oh, Mike said something about Eric, or somebody took his place. Well, actually, Paula took my place. I was a dispatcher, and when I became a police officer, Paula took my place. She became the dispatcher. So I married my replacement, Mike. On the biography, it asks, what are the rewards of your life, or the awards that you've gotten in your life? And I would tell you that the greatest award that I ever had was to be born into a Christian home of loving parents that loved me every day of my life and took me to church every time the church doors were open. My wife, Paula, that we've been married 38 years, she's my first wife. My 3 sons and my 6 grandchildren. It asked what was the greatest award you've ever received. Well, the greatest award I have ever received is to attain the title of Papa. That is absolutely the greatest award. So, to the employees of this city, to the residents of this city, to the city councils, past and present, the credit goes to you for somebody that wants to make somebody want to stay in one place, to live, to worship, to raise children. My grandchildren, some of them still live here. The credit goes to the community that you create a place that people want to live and work and play. And so to the city and to the employees, past and present, and the council, all the credit to y'all. Thank you. I just happen to be able to come along for the ride. So thanks for Paula for putting up with me, and that's enough.
No, it's not.
Well, Gary really has summed up a lot of my comments on the things that are important to him, and I know that he means every bit of that. But we've got a fun little video, and I'm going to ask Brett to start playing that. And I think you will see from the photos, it kind of walks you through Gary's life at the city of Euless. You're going to see him from his early days. You know, typically you think of ladies having hairstyle changes, but watch the hairstyle changes over the years that are going on in this video. So we have, as this is going, I'm going to go ahead and give you a little bit of his background that he didn't talk about. Yeah, as these pictures go by, you may see yourselves in some of them. But Gary graduated from San Angelo Central, and he attended Dallas Baptist University and earned his degree in criminal justice. He began his career at the City of Euless at age 19 as a dispatcher and was promoted to police officer in 1975 and worked his way through the ranks to police chief in 1993. He held that position until 1999 when he became the deputy city manager. And then Gary was appointed city manager in 2007, and like I said earlier, is the only employee in Euless' history to ever reach the 40-year milestone. Gary is a member of the International and Texas City Managers Associations, the International and Texas Police Chiefs Association. That's my favorite there. And the Mid-Cities Kiwanis, and also serves on several other committees for the City of Euless. He's a champion for the Six Stones Mission Network, and especially the community-powered revitalization. He felt it was important for us to find a way to help the community solve the issues that our code enforcement was seeing every day, and he's passionate about that project. Gary has been passionate about the City of Euless and preserving the quality of life here for his entire career, but his main concern has always been about the individual residents and about the employees. As he said earlier, he's worked tirelessly on development projects and things of that nature, but where he has always excelled was his one-on-one contact with citizens. He will lead the employees by example. If we get a call and someone needs something, he's the first to say, let's get in the car, drive out to their house and see what their issues are and see what we can do to help them. And so he has always, it's just been amazing to watch him over the years and how he devotes himself to serving the citizens. And I know he's also that passionate about taking care of our employees and his employee family. Gary, as he said, has always been passionate about his faith and his family, and it's very obvious to all of us that work with him that he is so proud of his children, but like he said, especially those grandchildren. It's rare that they get to come up and visit, but when they do, we know that everything else needs to stop for a little while because Gary is passionate about those grandchildren. It's been my honor to get to work closely with him. I appreciate all that he's done, all he's taught me, and most especially for his friendship. And now I'm going to turn it to the mayor for she and the council, I think, have some comments also.
Before the council talks, I think we had someone from the police department that wanted to come forward. Did we? Well, I think we do.
Chief Brown.
I just want to talk about Gary from kind of a personal standpoint. I had kind of floundered in my career early, and I went to him one time and spoke to him, and he was a good enough friend of mine that he was brutally honest and told me exactly what I needed to do. And one of them, I'll never forget, he told me, you got a lot of potential, but that's just what it is. It's nothing until you put it to work. And then he talked about going back to school, getting serious about my education, and getting serious about my career and about life. And I'll always owe you for that, and I appreciate that.
Bob Freeman, I think you have some comments.
Mayor, I don't have to be serious, right?
I think the floor is yours, Bob.
I was ordered by the mayor. I just want to. Everybody's talking about all the good things, and Gary is great. He's been a great friend, great mentor. Our relationship didn't start off that way. I was a young patrolman in 1980, just barely out of the police academy, just barely in a police car. And the sergeant I had that night called and said, we got an anonymous tip of a dead person in a closet down here on Southwest Apartments, and we're going to go down there and see if we can talk our way into it. And so we go down there and we come up with nothing. We decided it was just a hoax call. 2 or 3 days later, that anonymous person got feeling bad enough about it, they called the police department again. Gary McKamie was the investigator. And the policemen here understand that relationship. When you're a young patrolman, the investigators, the detectives, they're the mecca. They're the people that you bow down to when they come into the room. They know everything and how to do everything. And sure enough, Gary got assigned that. He goes down there and finds the right apartment. Got nothing, but somebody said, I heard that there's a dead person in the closet. And he's able to convince that guy that the best thing to do is to get right with the Lord and confess what he'd done, and he did, and led Investigator McKamie to a lady that had been tragically murdered. Now that's great for Gary McKamie. Then you fast forward a couple of nights later, I'm in roll call in front of all my peers, and the investigator's there. and he's telling us about how he solved this crime. And he said, but you know, the one thing that was kind of interesting, he turned to me and he said, Officer Freeman, did you patrol that the rest of the night? I said, I sure did, sir. And he said, well, that's probably answers my question. I said, well, what's that? He said, well, he said, I was talking to the guy, and the one thing he wanted me to do was to apologize to the patrolman that kept driving through the complex, because he said at one point he was carrying this lady wrapped in a bedroll over his shoulder down the stairs, and the officer came through, and the officer just waved. And he said, he felt bad that he couldn't wave back at you because his hands were full. And he just wanted me to let you know that. I admit that took. I felt bad for several days until somebody told me that part Gary McKamie made up. Then I was mad at Gary McKamie. So, but that's the kind of guy he is. He likes to tease with you and have a good time, and at the same time be serious. He was serious in solving the crime. He had a good time jacking with me. But I learned from then on. I just quit waving at anybody.
All right, council. Okay, council, do we have any comments from the council?
Yes.
All right.
You know you waiting me by. Just want to share with everyone in the audience tonight the Gary McKamie that I know. That's the Gary McKamie I know. Perfect timing, right, brother? Now, I just want to say that Gary's been a mentor in my life on numerous occasions. He's someone that a man, a father, and a grandfather can go talk to and get pretty good advice. And the men in this room and the ladies in this room probably can see that, Gary. But to get serious for a moment, Pawpaw, I was in his office this time last year. We were just having a short conversation middle of the daytime and just stopped by to say hi, and we were just having a good conversation about that moment. He got up and walked out of the office, and I'm going, what happened? Did I miss something? Well, Addie was in a stroller, went right in front of his window. He got up and left me because Pawpaw was called. So he came back in. He said, Perry, Councilman, I'm sorry, but you're way down the totem pole when you start talking about my grandbaby. So just want to share that there, Gary. And Gary, as a city and as a citizen of the city, thank you for what you do.
Other councilman?
Just real briefly, Gary's name should actually be Gary What If McKamie, because Gary's one of the most visionary people I have ever seen. Not just with projects around the city, but if you're discussing an issue that you have and you're trying to decide what angle to approach it, Gary will, out of the clear blue, come up with a totally different route to the end result, and it'll be the perfect solution to what we've all been debating about forever. So Gary's great. He's a man of great honor and integrity. But probably what tickles me the most about Gary is when he amuses himself. We all know what's coming next. He'll be sitting there and he'll start going. Thank you, Gary. You're a great leader.
Gary, when Joe Hemming told me that he was going to offer you that job of deputy city manager, I said, really? And am I glad he did? Because after Joe left, you led us through our rough years, and it has been a pleasure working.
Gary, Chris, were you able to get that picture I sent you? Okay, well, there were some pictures of Gary at the Fabulous Falls trying to go over the little thing the little kids go over with the little lily pads and all that. And it's that cat-like agility and skills that has everybody following him. But the main reason I enjoy working with Gary is he takes his job seriously, but he doesn't take himself seriously. And he knows in order to be a good leader and to do the job for 40 years, you have to learn to laugh every day and have that kind of attitude that brings other people along, and I appreciate that so much from Gary.
Gary, I am so appreciative of your vision as it relates to the vision for Six Stones, for having the city of Euless and having the courage to work with the city, with the faith communities, and with our school district, and what that has meant for the lives of the people in Euless. Thank you very much for your vision.
You gotta say something now.
Yeah, I really hadn't planned to. No, Gary's 40 years has been something that a legend has been made, really. He's actually been in trouble a few times. And there are some citizens in our community who have come to his rescue. He has always repaid their trust. The greatest thing that I have observed as Gary has moved from deputy city manager to city manager and has led us through the last few years has been his ability to make really tough decisions. He's made it very easy for this council to govern this city. He has come up with the ways and means where we've been able to retain our staff. I know that in the last few years, there have been times when the pay has been meager, but we have not created a burden on our taxpayers. And that's all because of Gary McKamie. And I didn't realize it at the time, but even when Joe Hennig was here, I know that Gary McKamie was the underpinning of the morality of our city, and that continues today. Always do the right thing. Thank you, Gary.
Not quite
Halfway there, Gary.
Whereas 2 scores ago, a young man joined the ranks of public service as an employee in the city of Euless serving as a police dispatcher. He rose through the ranks of the police department, ultimately becoming the police chief before landing the top dog spot of the city manager, where he has created a legacy of service that will be a tough act to follow to anyone. And whereas Gary is tough and firm and when he needs to be, but that sight of his grandchildren who go in his pawpaw, that just warms the cockles of his heart. Whereas Gary has enlightened and entertained staff on many occasions through his annex, which have earned him a number of viewers throughout the years, as well as teaching many of us the meaning of what we affectionately term Garyisms. Whereas finer than a frog ham, can't make a purse out of a sow's ear, loosey-goosey, booger-bag, and clear as swamp water are now ingrained in the official city of Euless terminology. And while he may have the key to the city and to our hearts, let us not forget that he has locked himself in the bathroom on occasion. Gary has successfully played the hand he was dealt, and the city of Euless has come out to win. Therefore, we, the City Council of the City of Euless, do hereby proclaim September the 10th as Gary Paul McKamie Day. Congratulations. That has 8 diamonds in it, and I think that would look gorgeous around Paula's neck. That is so pretty. Isn't that beautiful? 8 diamonds. Really pretty. Congratulations. Okay. Quick, ladies. Thank you all for coming tonight.